With heavier hearts, we return to action here at Atlanta Motor Speedway, the third race of the HTL Challenger Series in its third truck series iteration. The weight of the world still on the shoulders following the loss of two-time NASCAR Cup Series champion Kyle Busch, who passed away on Thursday at the age of 41. If you're watching this, you knew who he was. He was a renegade, an ass kicker, a rule maker, and a star that shines no matter the occasion. 234 NASCAR National Series wins, the most of any driver in history. Remember most as an amazing father, as a character we love to cheer or boo, and someone whose void will never be filled in the NASCAR racing world. It brought weight to the world on a weekend that was meant to honor those we have lost. And the weekend gave us a chance to breathe, to soak in and understand the weight of that loss. All the drivers here felt that pain in one way, shape, or form, whether they were fans that cheered on Kyle Busch or whether they were naysayers, people that wanted to see him lose more often than not. But you need those characters. You need those larger-than-life figures, and Kyle Busch was that. That's what draws you into something. You need those people that feel like superheroes or supervillains. If you're cheering for Kyle Busch, then he was the biggest superhero you could get. If he was a villain, then he was the person you were cheering for your driver to beat. But he gave you something to follow and to be interested in. That loss is felt. There'll be a couple tributes here tonight in our first broadcast since passing of Kyle Busch on Thursday. There will be a 3-wide salute in the prelude to this race. You'll see the trucks line up 3 wide before we go green tonight. And there will also be 2 laps of silence, lap 7 and lap 8. Lap 8 for the car number he last drove in Cup with Richard Childress Racing. And lap 7, that's the number of the truck he last won in just 10 days ago at Dover Motor Speedway when he grabbed his 234th and final NASCAR victory. That's one way we pay tribute to a driver that did so much in 21 years. For all of us who either grew up watching him or were old enough to watch him debut. His loss is felt and will be felt for a very long time, and he is extremely missed. We welcome you to the show. This is what he enjoyed doing. He enjoyed racing. It's what brings us all together here on ABM. And tonight we make that first step forward after his loss, driving the same vehicles that he loved doing so much. So let's go and let's race. We left you all last Tuesday after North Wilkesboro, a wild race, a chaotic race, but a very fun event, expecting more of the same here in Atlanta. The points as they run going into tonight's event in Atlanta. Josh Soucy, top of the board by almost 40 points over Byron Jones. It's a very close battle for second place with Byron Jones, Eli Sasick, Blue Jade, and Josh Gaiman all in that conversation in the top 5. Christina Ryan sits in the 6th position, ahead of Davis Mills Jr., John Matthews, Ryan Moutre, and Blake Henderson, your top 10 in the points coming into tonight. Brady Smith and Alfred Denny make up the top 12. And then you have those trying to get into the top 12. If you want to be in the chase for the Challenger Series championship, Casey Ellis, Dakota Osborne, Dustin Hall in your top 15. On that outside looking in, Kevin Gibney Jr. 16th, Wesley Worley in 17th, Bryce Bohr in 18th, out of DJ Anderson, Marcus Chafin, Mark Parkhurst, Spencer Teal, Gary Donaldson, and Tristan Bayer. 24 drivers set points this season. So it's all eyes at the top of the board here. Warm-up going on right now. You see trucks circulating around the racetrack, getting up into speed here. You will see a lot of tributes to Kyle Busch on trucks tonight. This is a new look truck for Christina Ryan. However, I don't remember what vehicle this is that she is driving. John Matthews in the 98, running a Twisted Setups machine. So to Osborne getting out on the racetrack in a Code Red Mountain Dew machine. There's a couple running tributes. Bobby Blowers would typically be. I think he's going to be one of those drivers. He is not on the racetrack at the moment. We'll point them out as we see them. Actually, Bobby Flowers is not on our screen. See, I think he's in the 24. I think we're going to have to fix that real quick for you. With that, warm-up is over. So bear with us. Your starting grid is going to look a little something like this tonight. Josh Susie, Christina Ryan, front and center for the lead of the race. They qualify front row. Josh Susie, your points leader on pole, is going to lead this field to green. Christina Ryan, the 86-time most popular driver on ABN, starting in second. Blue Jade will start this race from P3. Finished on the podium in Daytona. Did not have a great race in North Wilkesboro a week ago. Trying to have a lot better result here in Atlanta. Ryan Moutre in that Buc-ee's 44 starts in fourth alongside. Davis Mills Jr. and Brady Smith make up row number 3. Davis Mills Jr. the 10, Brady Smith in the 95 for Ascent Racing. Smith's Ascent Racing team boss, Eli Sasek, starts in row 4 alongside the 25. There's one of the tributes for Kyle Busch. Henderson Graphics number 25. One of the vehicles he made his debut in. I believe that is reminiscent of his Busch Series debut car back in 2004. Casey Ellis, Marcus Chafin in row 5. They're in out your top 10. Marcus Chafin running a NOS Energy number 77 machine. Very reminiscent car for Chafin. Kyle Busch, very synonymous with NOS Energy. 77. Inspired Motorsports, the team he last won for in the Truck Series. Bryce Borer in the 57 alongside the 98 of John Matthews in row 6. Alfred Denny and Bobby Flowers in that 24 machine filling in for Byron Jones. We'll start in row 7, 14th place for Flowers. Kevin Gibney Jr. and Wesley Worley in row number 8. Row 9, Dakota Osborne and DJ Anderson. And those 18 cars round out your field here in Atlanta. And here you see the 3-wide formation for Kyle Busch, who passed away on Thursday at the age of 41 following a bout of pneumonia that advanced into sepsis and resulted in his passing in Charlotte. Our thoughts are with the Busch family, Samantha, their kids, Brexton and Lennox, and their entire family, Richard Childress Racing, Spire Motorsports, and everyone that worked with and knew him and were friends with him over the past 21 years. Again, everyone in this field either grew up watching him or were old enough when he debuted back in 2005 in the NASCAR Cup Series. His passing, a huge loss for everyone here tonight. The healing began over the weekend when NASCAR got back in the action on Memorial Day weekend and got back into racing in Charlotte. The next step for us is here. And we welcome you to that part of the process. We're here because we love being here. We love doing this. We love competing. For us, there's no better way to get back in things than by jumping back into a race car and letting it rip. We are working on updating the overlay. Bobby Flowers filling in for Byron Jones tonight. Field will get ready to cycle back into standard formation so we can get this race underway. Typically, we'd have a lot to promote. We're going to promote our Patreon. All the proceeds this month are going to the Bundle of Joy Foundation that Kyle and Samantha Busch founded years ago. If you want to be a part of our giving efforts this month, use the QR code in the description down below. Rowdy, this one's for you tonight. Thank you for being inspiration. Thank you for being genuine. Thank you for being an icon. "18 trucks getting ready to go racing here tonight. It's what we do best. One more formation lap to get everyone into formation and everyone ready to go. A little bit behind the curtain. It takes a team to make this happen. A shout out to Blake Henderson, to Alfred Denny, and Eli Sasser in getting everything organized for the tributes tonight. This is the hardest part of their night. Everything else in comparison will be easier. For those joining us tonight watching on YouTube, we're not streaming on Patreon. It's just something we weren't feeling like we're thing with. But we will take care of that. Go back to our standard process, our standard operations on Thursday for the IndyCar Series as they return to action in Gateway. Pace car pulls in, and the 18 drivers set to do battle for 101 laps. Susie, Christina Ryan, they lead us to green. We're underway in Atlanta, and we're glad you're with us. Saw drivers drop to the back here. That was Josh Susie that led the Armada backwards there. Christina Ryan leads lap number 1. Ryan over Jade, over Sasek, Moutre, Ellis, Henderson, Bohr, Chafin, and Blowers. Flowers denoted in blue, a fill-in for Byron Jones, not the full-time driver for that 24. Lap 3 underway. Christina Ryan's led the opening 2 laps over Blue Jade, who finished second at Daytona 2 weeks ago. Eli Sasek up to 3rd. Casey Ellis up to 4th ahead of Ryan Moutre and Brady Smith. Remember, the big rule change here in HTL, no stage breaks. There is one stage on lap 50 that awards points 10 through 1 from 1st to 10th. But there's no planned stage breaks. That means green flag pit stops in this race if we get to that point. We saw that at Daytona, and it was tricky. It was challenging here in the Challenger Series, pun intended. But we're seeing that already. We were expecting this to happen. It would thin out a little bit. It's not going to be like Daytona where you see side by side the entire night. Everyone finding out where they want to be and really just getting in line at the moment. 715 brake horsepower in these trucks. One of the most experienced plate racers in HTL. Christina Ryan, former iRacing Daytona 500 champion, former ABM World Champion as well, leading the way. Last time we saw Christina Ryan on our screens, she finished second in the HTL Daytona 500. She also finished top 5 in North Wilkesboro last Tuesday. And so far, she has led the first 6 laps without much contest. As we begin our tribute to Kyle Busch. Thank you, everyone, for joining us on those laps of silence for Kyle Busch. The lead change for the first time here on lap 9. Blue Jade has moved to the front of the field with help from Eli Sasek. They're beginning to get a little bit more racy here at the front of the field. 13 cars in this formation as Blue Jade moves to the front. Christina Ryan leads the outside lane but falls backwards down to 3rd. Sasek up to 2nd on the inside lane. Truck number 9 trying to weasel his way close to the front. teammates up at the front of the field. On the outside lane, Christina Ryan in truck number 80. Henderson in truck 25 took a little bit too high. And now they'll be 3 wide out of 4. There goes Alfred Denny to the middle. And any help Christina Ryan may have had is gone for the time being. Denny goes on through. Goes ahead of Henderson. And his teammates, pretty much the entire outside lane, all teammates there for Tombstone and Unforgiven. All the way down to the 77 on Marcus Chapin. Three trucks in that breakaway. Blue Jade, Eli Sasek, and Christina Ryan. Christina Ryan hanging onto the quarter panel, side drafting the 9. Aerodynamic grip, super important in these trucks, as we've seen over the past couple of weeks. We're talking about side drafting. It's taking the air off the side of the vehicle that you're battling with. These trucks, very sensitive on both sides, but the right side especially, extremely sensitive. Can really loosen the trucks up, make them float a little bit out of the corners. It makes them very nervous when you take the air off the sides. And disrupts the airflow that comes around the truck. Christina Ryan was trying to do that to create sort of a parachute effect on the 9 of Sasek. It didn't work. And so now she'll drop in line for a moment, just trying to battle back forward, but with no help. It is an uphill fight as she waits for Alfred Denny and company to get back to her. You need momentum and you need support. And it's all aerodynamic right now. Christina Ryan drifts up the racetrack just a little bit. Battling with Sasek door to door. Blue Jade leads both lanes. There's a group of 5 that are not on this lead lap. They all deliberately dropped back earlier on. Very similar tactics that we saw in Daytona. Josh Susie, Davis Moon Jr., Dakota Osborne, Kevin Gibney Jr., Wesley Worley. They've all dropped back. It's a 5-car formation back there. They've removed themselves from the equation, mostly to avoid a crash, if there is one. No fast repairs, no get-out-of-jail-free cards. But if you crash here, it's day done. Haven't seen a ton of crashes this season so far, but when we have seen them, they've been pretty massive. Casey Ellis got really tight there through 3 and 4, had to really feather the throttle, and that's going to give the outside some momentum to sort of gain up in battle for this race lead. Now, Christina Ryan, truck 80, gets a little loose. You see a little bit of a twitch in that 80 truck, the way it wanted to bobble. Very fast hands for the 80 of Christina Ryan. Veteran experience there in the 80. But that's a wake-up moment. Truck in the fence, I believe that was Chapin, and it was. And Chapin has lost the draft, it looks like here. We'll see if he can keep back up, but he is in a little bit of trouble here early. Trying to hang in there with DJ Anderson and John Matthews as Blue Jade leads the way. Christina Ryan does have some help with Alfred Denny there in that number 21 Ford. Everyone having to really modulate things as Christina Ryan tries to get to the outside of Blue Jade and does so down the back straightaway once again here in Atlanta. Christina Ryan back out in front, leads lap 19. We start lap 20 The veteran passing the rookie. Sienna Ryan looking for her first points win in HTL. Won a duel in Daytona for the Cup Series. That was a qualifying race. Won the opening segment of the HTL Open in the preseason. Neither of those official points-paying events. She's out in front once again and clear as we're on lap 21. Blue Jade has been in action. Blue Jade dropping down to the 6th place. Henderson the 25, working with Alfred Denny on the bottom of the racetrack now. It is 3 versus 3, make it 2 on 4. Everyone dancing around a little bit. Blue Jade up in the fence. Henderson up in the fence. 3 wide almost. Brady Smith cut his teammate some slack. That's the second time Henderson's been in the fence tonight. Gotta keep things simple. On board Henderson. Home track for him and Marcus Chafin down in 13th. Sienna Ryan on the right side of your screen to the left, blocked by the tower for a moment, is Alfred Denny. Henderson still battling a tight race car. The car just wanting to take off. The front wheels are not gripping the racetrack the way it wants to. So you're watching the car just drift from the middle to the top towards the wall as that grip just goes away on the exit. Alfred Denny leads the way to finish lap 25. Sienna Ryan leads again out of turn 2. Trucks still in this lead pack. You see that pack further back, those 4. Westerly has lost them. Susie, Smeal, Gibney, and Osborne reeling back into the race leaders. Once they are fully in this pack, it'll get a 17. All in the lead running order. Three wide, further back. Car in the fence for a moment, but still firmly within the pack, so we stay green. Eli Sasek looking for the race lead on Christina Ryan. Truck number 9 trying to move to the front, but it's mano a mano. And Ryan leads lap 28. 15 of the 28 laps completed have been led by truck number 80. She's trying to keep the good times rolling. Teammates all around, 3rd and 4th, Henderson and Denny. Flowers in that conversation as well. HTL is dropping back a little bit, it looks like here. Closer to Susie than to Anderson. Completing lap number 30. It's been all green so far here in Atlanta. Christina Ryan leads lap 30. And now lap 31 underway. Ryan controlling the lead of the race. Has led the most laps by far so far tonight. Still very early days. Everyone in this chess match trying to figure out where they want to be. Those that hung back earlier have now caught back up to this group. They were expecting trouble early. That has not been the case. And now they are in a position of needing to be back in this group for stage points, which comes around on lap 50. Do not expect anyone to make it to 50 without needing to stop for fuel. Atlanta has one of the trickier pit lanes as well. You have to come down pit lane entering turn 3. You will lose a lot of time pitting under green, but if everyone has to, it pretty much balances out a little bit. But there's some time to be gained by pitting under green. You can really sort of game the system a little bit. You can find seconds on the racetrack pitting under green. Your new top 3, Christina Ryan, Blake Henderson, and Bobby Blowers, the 24, filling in for Byron Jones. Hence why his name is in blue on your tower. Blue Jade back up to 4th. Eli Sasek down to 5th. His teammate Brady Smith in 6th. Alfred Denny in 7th. John Matthews, Ryan Moutre, and Marcus Chafin rounds out your top 10 so far. Battle for second between Henderson and Blowers. Henderson stays in second. One of the 2 Atlanta drivers at home tonight in this race. Blowers goes up to the middle of the racetrack. He's looking for his chance to go and be a part of the race leading group. Blowers has a win here in Cup. This track has historically not favored him too awful well in the trucks, though. We'll see if that changes. Blue Jade, his teammate there, by technicality, not going with them. Stayed on the bottom of the racetrack. And Henderson slides back in front, 24, or 25 ahead of the 24. The 24 has to settle for 3rd at the moment. Henderson on the bottom of the racetrack. He's looking for the race lead at home. And lap 37 belongs to Henderson. The hometown driver leads here in Atlanta. Flowers making his move for the race lead. They have dispatched the 80 of Christina Ryan down to the battle for 3rd. Henderson led that lap as well. Minus Wesley Worley, the entire field's together right now. Flowers trying to drive around Henderson here. Henderson staying on that quarter panel. Trying to pull him back. Lap 40 begins. Henderson leads that lap as well. And everyone getting a little bit more intense with 11 to go in the stage. Remember, stage points offered at the end of lap 50 unless a caution comes out between lap 46 and lap 50. So everyone's trying to race for points, but you also don't want to wreck your race car trying to do so. Henderson leads lap 40, 10 to go in the stage. Flowers second. Ryan and Jade third and fourth. Sasek, Smith fifth and sixth. F1 running, car loose. That was John Matthews, the 98. Kept it pointing in the right direction. We stay green, but he drops out of the top 10. Flowers, does he get clear? He does. It's close. Henderson still gets to his outside. Flowers leads the lap, but Henderson's going to lead into one. And Flowers trying to get clear, left Blue Jade behind, so now he doesn't have the help. Flowers not racing for points. He is not a full-time competitor in this race. He does get clear here, 8 to go in the stage. He is simply looking for a race win. Henderson, Jade, Ryan, Sasek, everybody else in this field is battling to be a part of the chase for the Challenger Cup. Henderson gets to the bottom of the racetrack. Ryan follows. Jade moves to the middle, will follow Flowers now. Blue Jade tagged the fence just a little bit out of turn 2. Everyone getting a little bit more physical. Truck in the fence, Bryce Moore. Again, we keep it green. Everyone's still pointing in the right direction, but a little bit more physical further back. Sasek got around Jade, so did Smith. Jade down to 6th. 2 by 2 by 2. Flowers gets clear, gets to the bottom of the racetrack. He's going to mirror drive the last 6 laps of this stage. Remember, there is no stage break. So you do have to think about your stuff further on in this race. Five to go in the stage. Sasek and Smith trying to find a way around Henderson here. It is given by Flowers a chance to pull away a little bit. 4 to go in the stage. Again, points mean nothing to Flowers. There's no winning you're in like what there has been in HTL in the past. It's about consistency. It's about points and nothing else. Everyone behind the 24 battling for those season-long points. Flowers just wants bragging rights. 3 to go in the stage. And this is the largest gap we've seen between the leader and everybody else. Almost half a second. Two to go in the stage, and it is now over half a second. Flowers has an advantage we've not seen yet tonight until now, and that's because you see everyone else 2 by 2. We talk about the side draft and the aerodynamic forces at play. It's a pretty big deal. Truck coming down pit lane, Christina Ryan. will bow out of the stage point conversation, making that pit stop under green with a very empty pit lane. White flag is out in stage 1. More pit stops set to take place. Sasek in the fence. Drops out of the top 10. It is now Henderson in Jade. Second and third. Brady Smith fourth. Marcus Chapin in fifth. Sienna Ryan bowed out of that points battle. We'll go a lap down here. Blowers wins stage 1 by almost a second. But the race continues because you've got to set up things now. More trucks down pit lane. Sasek and Osborne. And here comes the entire field. As soon as the stage ends, most of the field comes down pit lane. Alfred Denny stays out. I think that's a smart move. It's a very busy pit lane right now as everyone comes down to pit lane. So new race leader Alfred Denny as Christina Ryan left pit lane and will begin her process. Alfred Denny's out of fuel. Alfred Denny's out of fuel. He is out of fuel. He should have come down a lap earlier, and he didn't, and this will cost him dearly. Sienna Ryan will get her lap back. And now we'll jump right into the thick of things once again. And the thought process pitting alone, pretty crucial. The issue is that by pitting earlier, she will need to save fuel here. Just a little bit. But she's out in front. And the undercut worked wonders. Alfred Denny did get to pit lane. He got to his box okay. So we'll drop pretty well down the order. DJ Anderson had a penalty. And drops down to 18th, a lap down. Leslie Worley, last car on the lead lap. There he is. He is needing a little bit of help to get back on the lead lap. 3 trucks, all alone at the moment. Christina Ryan leads the way. We have passed the halfway point here in Atlanta. Let's have a little bit of fun. Let's crank it up. approaching 36 laps to go here in Atlanta for the third HTL Challenger Series event. Blue Jade leads the way in that 83 Ford F-150. 5 lead lap trucks and a lap truck all in this conversation. Let's go ahead and let's take you through the field here. Blue Jade leads the way at the moment. Started this race in third. Has done pretty well at the plate races, all things considered. Second at Daytona 2 weeks ago. Trying to do one spot better here in Atlanta. Good company to be in. Brady Smith for Ascent Racing, Joshua Racing in the Cup Series. Sitting right now in the second spot. Bobby Flowers sitting in P3. Sorry, P4 at the moment. Blake Henderson is in third. One of the 2 Atlanta drivers in this field, racing at home. He has led laps tonight. He's in a good spot, 1 of 5. Leading the way right now, but almost 2.5 seconds. Bobby Flowers is in fourth. Minnesota native for Orlando Outlaws, carrying the banner there. And that all-black machine, Christina Ryan sitting top 5 at the moment. Charlotte native looking for her first win in one of the major HTL competitions. 1 lone points win in the HTL Champ Car Lights Series, an off-season program that did not officially count for any relevant records. But her season has started off pretty hot. She's looking for a result similar to Daytona a week ago. They are closing in a little bit. This group outside the top 5. Eli Sasek in 6th. Started this race in 7th. Josh Susi, your pole sitter for this race. Back up into the top 10, 7th place. And its teammates, 7th, 8th, and 9th. Davis Mills Jr. also right there. Ram trucks in a concerted effort, similar to what we saw in Daytona 2 weeks ago. Kevin Gibney Jr. in 9th. Ryan Moutre in 10th. Moutre started this race in 4th. And that Bucky's 44. John Matthews sitting 11th right now for Orlando Outlaws. And then Dakota Osborne in that Mountain Dew Code Red machine sitting in 12th at the moment. Marcus Chafin. Don't forget on Motorsports, the Atlanta native. Chafin sits right now 13th place. We're very much in that fight as the field tries to close back in together in the last 30 laps of this race. Casey Ellis, a bit of an island right now, working with DJ Anderson. Anderson went 5 laps down, serving penalties for improper pit lane entry. Anderson now 5 laps down. He needs a miracle to do better than 18th tonight. You can see right now the NFG Motorsports man not having quite the success he had in Daytona a week ago in the Cup Series. Bryce Bohr on an island as well. 57th, sits right now in 15th place on the lead lap, but needing a caution before he also goes a lap down to join Wesley Worley and DJ Anderson. Alfred Denny also close to going a lap down as well. He's 16th, last truck on the lead lap. Remember, he ran out of fuel coming to pit lane, and that threw him out of the lead pack. But that's your through the field on the 18 trucks in this field. All of them still operational, all of them still running. With less than 30 to go here in Atlanta, a caution-free event. To the front of the field, Henderson leads lap 73. That is his 5th lap led here tonight. Blue Jade, the 83 in comparison, has led 25. Same amount as Christina Ryan. Speaking of the devil, and she appears, Christina Ryan, sitting in that third position behind Henderson on the outside lane. Bia Blowers has led 12 laps tonight, filling in for Byron Jones. Brady Smith, no lap led yet for him, only 2 for Eli Sasek in the Ascent Racing crew. But you saw the field was back together. There's Susie in that conversation. Smeal, Gibney, Moutre all together as well. It is showtime, coming to 25 laps to go here in Atlanta. Side by side, they battle. Laps ticking down. Remember, they all pit right at the halfway point, so fuel mileage is close. Christina Ryan, the closest on fuel, she pit on lap 50 on the dot. The thought process is that if she has saved enough fuel here, she can push to the end. But how much has she saved? Josh Susie, points later, he is up in the top 4, pushing his way forward as Blue Jay leads the way. Henderson second. Christina Ryan to third to second place. Henderson goes up the racetrack. 3 wide. He's in the fence again. Everyone gets around him. In case of Icarus, too close to the sun. Blake Henderson, he's got to now work through the field if he hasn't lost the draft. Marcus Chafin backed up and helped him. The 2 Atlanta boys going to try to move forward together here. Approaching 20 laps to go. It is Jade, Ryan, Smeal, Susie, Blowers, your top 5. If this was a boxing contest, we would be approaching the championship rounds. Instead, it is a marathon approaching its final mile. If you have any energy left, if you have anything left to give, you begin to start giving that amount now. This is where you find the extra 10% to push beyond that already surpassed 100%. Denny and Boer will both go a lap down here. It is helping out Blue Jays, and those lap traffic is there. Drafting up to the back end of Alfred Denny and pulling away from those behind. Denny goes topside. That Danhausen 21. Trying to stay lead lap here at the moment. Really working hard. Bryce Boer will try to do the same because a late caution could change everything here in Atlanta. We've seen it happen before. Everyone's been driving so well, so much tonight. 19 to go, coming to 18 to go here in Atlanta. And now the leaders are blocked in. Huge bump. Boer gets turned to the inside. And caution does come out. Boer gets turned. Alfred Denny stays lead lap. Wesley Worley gets the free pass. And the one that got turned is knocked out of the competition, the most of all. Bryce Boer, spun by Blue Jade. A bad bump down the front straightaway our first caution of the night with less than 20 to go has reset the field. If there were any fuel concerns, there are not now. This is the hard reset button that we were expecting. We thought would happen at the end of stage 1 between lap 46 and lap 50. It didn't happen there. And it happens now with Bryce Borer getting spun off the nose of Blue Jade as they were battling for the race lead. Christina Ryan out in front. So here's what happened. And we'll take a look. We need to take a look from high above. Let's take another shot here. Just a bad bump there through the tri-oval. Borer almost spears it to the right, which would have taken out Alfred Denny and Christina Ryan. Instead, he gets the truck pitched to the left and goes to the grass there. And he is just trying to keep that car out of the way the best he can. Spinning this close to the racetrack, this is where the caution comes out. You see the lights flashing there on the fence. I think everyone largely does a great job there. That's the 77 of Chafin that had to go to the apron there. Henderson went up top, but they both split him pretty well there. And this will reset the field pretty well. And again, we'll back it up here just a little bit so you can kind of see what we're talking about. Here's our blimp cam. 57 of Borer, 83 at Jade. And you're going to see this just bad bump here. It's a hard shot out of the tri-oval because you're still turning at that point. You don't want to give that hard of a shot when you're still turning and you're still trying to get that car straightened out. We see it happen in Cup all the time, but it happens here too. And Bryce, really amazing car control. It's unfortunate that he's the one that sort of ends up biting the bullet the hardest here. When everyone's trying to hang on to that lead lap. That's what him and Alfred Denny were trying to do. They were trying to hold on to the lead lap there. Denny does do so successfully. Wesley Worley gets back on lead lap with that free pass. And Bryce Borer will be the one starting 17th a lap down here. A few cars getting repair work done after tagging the fence pretty hard. Blake Henderson's one of them. Kevin Gidney Jr., Dakota Osborne. Bryce Borer looks like his race is done. Similar to what happened in North Wilkesboro. He has given up the ghost here. And I don't entirely understand why. He is the only truck one lap down now. Now he's 2 laps down. But had another caution come out here within the next 15 laps, he would have been back on the lead lap if he had stayed in it. Instead of staying in it, he is retired from this race. Similar to North Wilkesboro a week ago. And so, your front row starters are as they were. Christina Ryan, outside lane, as the race leader, had the lane choice. Josh Susi, your pole sitter, will start this race on the inside lane, as he did the initial starts back on lap 1. Bobby Flowers filling in for Byron Jones, alongside Davis Muir Jr. Teammates on the inside, the Strange Bedfellows on the outside. Ascent Racing teammates, row 3, Brady Smith and Eli Sasek make up that row together. Blue Jade outside row 4, alongside John Matthews is how things are supposed to be. Not quite as tightly formed together, that inside lane. Very tightly formed together is the outside lane. It's like a coil. Ready to explode. Coming to 15 to go. We're back underway. Our first restart of the night is great. Not a great restart for Christina Ryan or Bobby Flowers. Josh Susi gets the go-ahead. Everyone came down pit lane. Fuel no longer a concern. Tires not a concern. Use what you've got here in Atlanta. The outside lane just whimpered on that start. It was not good. And you've got teammates leading the inside lane with Susie and Smeal that are trying to run the table. We used the boxing analogy earlier that we'd be entering the championship rounds. This is round 10 of 12 on that analogy. Everything you've got in the tank you're using now because you're trying to finish this fight. And that's what you're seeing right now. Christina Ryan with help from Bobby Blowers. Christina Ryan, clear. Has the ability to choose whatever lane she wants to run. She stays up top at the moment. Flowers in second on that outside lane, trying to follow through. Josh Susie trying to hang in there, leading the bottom lane. She wants these two to fight behind her. And they're going to fight. Ryan back up top. Nowhere for Flowers to go except for behind the 80. Outside lane so boxed in on the straightaways. Susie, though, gets alongside, gets to the door. Ryan leads lap 90. 11 laps to go here in Atlanta. Two-time Cup Series champion. The 81 on the inside lane, closest to the white line. Former ABN World Champion. Truck number 80 on the outside. The defending kart champion. The 24 truck of Bobby Blowers, also on the outside. There's the 44, Ryan Moutre, the Buc-ee's machine. Outside lane as well. Brady Smith has separated the two Gibney Racing Division trucks. The 10 does 81, no longer nose to tail. Middle, 3 wide, that's Sasek. He's uncomfortable, and he's falling backwards. Blowers got clear of Susie, trying to get clear of Ryan for the race lead. Ryan keeps her foot in it. Surges back with help from Moutre. Leads with 9 to go. This is where if you overstep yourself, you're not going to come back from it. Saying check yourself before you wreck yourself applies here more than anywhere else. Ryan, Blowers, Moutre, Susie, and Jade are top 5. But there are 16 trucks under a blanket waiting for the shoe to drop. 8 to go here in Atlanta. Blowers and Ryan lead the way in their respective lines. Christina Ryan in truck 80. Driving one of her tributes to Kyle Busch. Leading the way. Clear of Blowers there with help from Ryan Moutre, who has been a soldier in this race. Outside lane prevailing just a little bit. They're all following truck number 80. Jade goes to the bottom of the racetrack. Moutre stays in line up top. Gibney wants to go 3 wide. He will go 3 wide. Truck in the wall. Henderson. Huge crash. Huge crash. Truck's in the fence. Henderson. Sasek. I believe Marcus Chapin got a piece of it. How there isn't a caution, I'm not sure. But we do stay green, and it's still in the hands of Christina Ryan. In this jumbled up pack, coming to 5 to go. Everyone's still rolling around the racetrack except for Bryce Bohr, who retired under caution. Flowers clears Christina Ryan. Truck in the fence almost. Davis Field Jr., he had to get really squirrely to avoid tagging that safer barrier. Flowers and Ryan, first and second. Moutre third. Moutre skims the fence. 3 wide for third. Jade gets the hip check from Smeal. No one's lifting now. Moutre gets turned. Everyone's still trying to scramble. Susie gets turned into Alfred Denny. And there's the yellow. And we have overdrive here in Atlanta. We have entered overtime. Let's take a look here, because this was pretty dramatic here. So this is what happened that did not draw a caution. And then we'll look at what did with Josh Susie and company further back. No one wanting to lift here in Atlanta. Late on, not a surprising aspect of Atlanta. We've seen it happen before. Henderson, I'm not sure what happened to the 25 there, but it catches everyone behind him out in a massive way. Denny gets hip checked by Sasek. Sasek almost blows over here. You see the left side of the truck trying to lift off the ground. Henderson took a lot of damage hitting that wall as hard as he did in the tri-oval. Especially hard contact there for Sasek. The nose of that number 9 truck pretty well destroyed. And Marcus Chafin also having a bad time here at home in the 77. But here's where the yellow comes out. A little bit of contact there between Smeal and Ryan Moutre. Moutre pretty well saves it, but there's trouble further back. Everyone just running out of space. You're running practically 4 wide there. Wesley Worley, Josh Susie, John Matthews, Alfred Denny. They all had a part to play in that running 4 wide as close as it was. Obviously, Davis Mio Jr. and Ryan Moutre checking up that pack to create that scenario, that pressure cooker environment. And your points leader in some pretty significant damage there. Everyone having work to do just to try to survive this race now. So we enter ABN overdrive, and that is just a term for any amount of overtime racing here. What is overdrive specifically? It is green, white, checkered scenarios for those that are new to the stock car racing platform. 3 attempts to end this race under green flag conditions. A green flag lap, then a white flag lap, and then, if we get to it, the checker. We have to get to the white flag for this race to be official. If a caution comes out on this restart on the opening lap, we will re-rack it and try again. We will put everyone back together and try to get this race to finish under green. We have 3 attempts at that. This race could finish under yellow if we use all 3 of those attempts. That has never happened in HTL, where we've had to finish this race under yellow. But we'll see how that pans out here tonight. It's Bobby Blowers, Christina Ryan at the front of the field. Blue Jade, Kevin Gibney Jr. in row 2. Davis Mio Jr., Brady Smith, row 3. Row 4, Ryan Moutre and Wesley Worley looking at his career best finish without a doubt right now in the 13 truck. John Matthews and Dakota Osborne, your top 10 at the moment. Eli Sasek, Josh Susie, row 6. Marcus Chafin, the last truck on the lead lap right now. in 13th. I had a Casey Ellis and Alfred Denny who had damage repair, and they are still on pit lane. DJ Anderson still rolling. Could get up to 14th place by persevering in this event. He got the free pass, both cautions. Sorry, he got the wave round, the first caution. The second caution, he was the free pass. 2 to go, and our first attempt at overtime. Away we go here in Atlanta. Is this the restart to end the race? Slow restart again, outside lane. Christina Ryan still not really getting that acceleration. Flowers rockets Ray, but he is alone right now. We'll see how that changes things. He goes to block the top of the racetrack. Christina Ryan goes up top, stays in it. Cars in the fence. White flag is out. 1 to go in Atlanta. Christina Ryan's clear of the field. Flowers tried to put the 80 in the fence. Who makes it back here in Atlanta? Huge trouble. Huge trouble. Trucks turn. Trucks turn on the back straightaway. Through 3 and 4 for the final time as they head to home. From the front row to victory lane, Christina Ryan wins in Atlanta. Davis Muir Jr. and Brady Smith, your top 3. Osborne and Matthews, top 5. But it's Christina Ryan, a gutsy pass, coming to the white flag. It's her first HTL Challenger Series victory. She wins in Atlanta here tonight. Congratulatory bumps there from Brady Smith, from Marcus Chafin in the 77. And the 80 gets to burn it down here in Atlanta. In a Kyle Busch Motorsports truck that once upon a time adorned a Toyota, retrofitted to fit a Chevrolet tonight. A little bit of a burnout there. An emotional night for some as we got back into action here. Following the passing of Kyle Busch on Thursday. Our first broadcast live since that news broke. And there's the burnout. This one's for Rowdy, I'm sure. As she burns it down here on the front straightaway in Atlanta. As she burns it down and begins what I believe is going to be a Polish victory lap here in Atlanta. Let's go over the results. We'll talk to our podium finishers here in just a moment. Christina Ryan, Davis Muir Jr., Brady Smith on that conversation list. Ahead of Dakota Osborne and John Matthews. Kevin Gibney Jr. in 6th. Wesley Worley, his career best finish in 7th so far. 3 races in, showing some improvement here in that 13 truck. Great job to him. Ryan Moutre in 8th. Eli Sasek 9th. Great recovery from him. Marcus Chafin started this race in 10th. He'll finish 10th at home here in Atlanta. Josh Soucy, your pole sitter, could only manage to recover to 11th. Blue Jade in 12th. And Bobby Blowers finishing in this race in 13th, filling in for Byron Jones, spinning out on the final lap here in Atlanta. DJ Anderson finishing 3 laps down in 14th, but did take the checkered flag. He is the last truck to do so. Casey Ellis, Alfred Denny, Blake Henderson, and Bryce Borer did not see the finish here tonight. See if we can hear from our podium finish to see if Brady Smith's available. We will go ahead and talk to David Smith Jr. here for a second. I'll just wait to see if Brady Smith is available. David Smith Jr., this is Carmen from the ABN booth. You got a copy.
Gotcha.
That was a wild race. Not too dissimilar from that we saw at Daytona a couple weeks ago, but was successful once again for Gibney Racing Division. Walk us through it, because that was especially stressful. It was a tale of two halves, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it was very nice to get that very long green flag run to start getting a good rhythm. We dropped to the back to just kind of group up and see how that was going to play out in the field, because we thought in practice it was a little twitchy and a little sketchy, and we didn't really want to get put in a bad position early, get any of us taken out. And then once it was time to go at the end, we all kind of just threw the keys on the table and said, let's have at it. And I'm sure I didn't make many friends tonight, but at the same time, it's, we're getting put in positions that nobody wants to be in, and I'm sure nobody fully knows the extent of the situations while we're on track. But I wanted to get a good finish. I needed one after the last couple weeks. I feel like as good as we've been, we could be better, and this was a really good result for it. And happy to have Rowdy riding on my bed cover tonight, and I'm sure you'd probably smile about those couple moves I made. But yeah, solid P2. I can't really complain.
The plate races, obviously, they've been huge talking points here. We have one more plate race next Monday, but for the Cup Series, it gets to calm down for a little bit. We get to go to intermediate tracks where hopefully things spread out a little bit more, and you see a little bit more of the drivers using their tools in that toolbox to get things going. Las Vegas coming up, a way different racetrack with the extra horsepower than what we have typically here in the Challenger Series. What's the feeling going into Las Vegas next Tuesday? Obviously, we're running a week ahead of the Cup Series, but Las Vegas, it's proven to be a little bit more of a tire wear track with this increased horsepower in the past. What's the expectation there?
Probably a lot more of the same tonight. Just, the one thing we always preach about is take care of your tires. Those first 15, 20 laps, whatever it is, don't use them up trying to get track position that you're going to lose later to somebody who has taken care of their tires. So, just more of the same, getting a rhythm, getting a vibe, ride around, keep the car in one piece, and make sure you're there at the end. And hopefully it'll be like tonight where we get a long green flag run and everybody's spaced out, and that's where myself and Susie really thrive. And I know Kevin's made huge strides on it over the last couple months, especially with the next gen. Hopefully we'll see how that transitions over with the truck. But I mean, I'm excited to be done with plate racing for a little bit, I can't lie. But just having fun. That's the main thing, is just sit here, have fun, and whether it's with my team or whoever else, it's such a good time.
A lot of fun tonight. Another fantastic result for the 10 vehicle here tonight, whether it's in the Cup car or in the truck. That 10 car always finds a way to the front of the field here. One more race at Atlanta next Monday, and then we go coast to coast from Georgia to Las Vegas next Tuesday. Before we let you go, and obviously let you game plan for the Cup Series race coming up here in a few days' time, if there's anyone to shout and say thank you to, the floor is yours. It feels good to be back on the racetrack and getting back to doing what we're all here to do.
Absolutely. First and foremost, obviously everybody at GRD and Triple S Motorsports, Susie and Kevin are my ride or die brothers are here. Wish they had gotten the results they probably deserved tonight for as good as we felt. Obviously Alan Blake putting on the show, you for the broadcast, everybody at ABN. Shout out to Chrissy on the win. My beautiful wife, my two boys who let me have this amazingly fun hobby I've made so many friends doing. Uh, Obviously, this one was for KB. My thoughts are with Sam and the kids and everybody involved with RCR. All Joe Gibbs, everybody over there. Everybody's been thinking of them. It's been a really emotional week. Obviously, everybody in here, it's been affecting all of us a little bit. Feel like we lost a hero. Yeah. Oh, geez, I got a little bit of a tear in my eye saying that one. Yeah, it's good to be back to having fun. Hopefully, we'll be having a lot more next week, and hopefully, there'll be a lot more of this talking to you and a lot of good results to put on the table.
We're definitely sure of it. The season is still very young, both in the Challenger Series and in the Cup Series. Davis Muir Jr. finishing second here in Atlanta. He'll try to do the same, if not one spot better, on Monday when the Cup Series comes here, and then he'll try to go forward and do it again in Las Vegas next Tuesday. Davis Muir Jr., congratulations on the podium effort tonight, and obviously we'll talk to you again next Monday.
Thanks, Carmen.
That was Davis Muir Jr., second place finisher at the end of this race. Now we move to the woman of the hour, the six-time ABN Most Popular Driver, former ABN World Champion, and for the first time in a major national series for HTL, a points race winner. Christina Ryan, obviously it's very apparent on the truck itself what was up front in mind here tonight, driving the number 80 that once upon a time was on a Toyota, now on a Chevrolet, and getting it to victory lane here in typical Christina Ryan fashion, putting it all on the line, coming to the white flag. Walk us through that. That truck looked dominant, qualified front of the field, and was very subtly out of that front pack.
Yeah, KB was with me the whole way, and I wanted to win this race probably more than I've ever wanted to win a race in my career. Running this truck and being at Charlotte this weekend has been really tough, and I've been crying all week, and I still don't want to believe it. I want to wake up and him still be on the track and yelling at everybody on the pit crew. But yeah, I don't know. I just it was such a fun package. It felt like, when I was growing up watching the Daytona 500, it was one of those old school plate races. The handling was all over the place, and we were using the air to move each other a bunch, and I knew this is probably my best chance to win. We came close at Daytona all weekend at Daytona, and we couldn't quite get there, but we still had some good results and put the truck out front. And I really wanted to win this race so bad. So it means way more than just a video game, at least to me. And to be able to pull that off, and I thought it might have been over when Bobby got around me. He made a really nice move and put a slider on me, and then with the restart, I knew he was going to have help, and I wasn't. So I just dug really deep and drove really hard, and we got the run, and they started, killing each other behind us. And I knew once I was halfway down the backstretch that it was looking really good. So I'm just so proud of everybody on the Unforgiven team and Tombstone, and we worked together great again, like we always do. And shout out to Blake for leading laps and being up there at the front, and Alfred as well. We kept him on the lead lap. Unfortunately, he got wrecked, but it was really cool. But obviously, it's just it means a lot. So really happy to put a truck that should be in victory lane if you're going to run it in victory lane. I would have been really mad if I didn't get this thing in victory lane. He would be mad if I didn't get it in victory lane. So
I mentioned it at the top of the broadcast. For people like me and you, we're of the age where obviously Kyle Busch was there every step of the way for us growing up. Like, he debuted back in 2005 in the Cup Series, and he'd just been there consistently ever since. You live in Charlotte. You were there for the 600 on Sunday. I think you were there all weekend for just about all the races this weekend.
Every single one.
How important? Obviously, you talk about how important it was getting the race win in this one. Looking back at it, how important is it to just get back on the racetrack? Because this is the thing he loved doing. This is the vehicle he got his last win in Dover 10 days ago. How important was it to just get back in and being able to focus on something? Because it's been hard. It's been hard for everybody in some way, shape, or form, because you don't have a lot to focus on in between the races. How important was it to get behind the wheel and just be able to focus forward for about 2 hours?
Yeah, I mean, I never, unfortunately, I never got to meet him or interact with him on a direct level. So which is a shame. But just growing up watching him, and I used to hate him. I used to hate his guts. I used to cheer every time he'd wreck out. And as I got older, I started to really appreciate what he could do, and I really admire how he jumped in any car and just kicked ass with it. So and I drive just about everything, and I take a lot of him. And study him a lot. I mean, I watched him win here, and I've watched him win at Vegas in person and with the truck. And he was always running the top. The top was the place to be, and that's kind of where I stayed all day tonight. And it really paid off. So I know it's a game, and it might be a little silly to be teary-eyed about it all, but just the magnitude of everything is so cool, and to be able to come out and perform on the stage like this. And I have my mom watching too, so hi Mom, I love you like so much. I'm excited to see you this week. But yes, they got to see me win, so that's so cool. And just a really, really, really good race. And I just, it's good to be back and be doing what I do. And I've been through a lot this month personally as well, with a bunch of health issues and whatnot. So to be able to perform so well through all of that has been really, really, really cool. So to get the win, finally get that off my back now. And it's a huge win for me to be able to do it in HTL. Is we were really close for a long time, so now we finally done it, and just keeps the momentum moving forward, and this will help us rebound from the points in Daytona. And we gave up stage points at the start as well, and glad we could rebound and get some really, really good points. Just over the moon. And yeah.
The season rolls on. We talk about heavy weeks coming up here. We go for this series from Atlanta to Las Vegas, the home track for both Kyle and Kurt Busch. Coming up here next Tuesday, we have another race coming up on Monday here in Atlanta for the HTL Cup Series here. You finished second in the HTL Daytona 500 going into next Monday. I don't think we're going to be able to talk to you until then, with Winston being off this weekend as well. What's the feeling going into this race? Obviously, kicking off Atlanta week really well. Is there a chance that we can possibly see this 80 car close to victory lane on Monday as well?
I mean, I don't know. We were really good at Daytona, and we did really good at the double barrel, and we won that one. So I don't know. I mean, if I'm a bit superstitious, I feel like we won this one and maybe used up all of our luck. But it wouldn't be the first time we got the brooms out. So obviously, I'm going to give it everything I've got and try and win it. I'll push like hell, but more cars, different package. It's going to be a bit difficult to get it done, because you never really do know. But I think we have a better shot here than the Daytona, because it is a handling track, and this is what I grew up watching as a little kid. So in person. So I love Atlanta. It's such a fun track. I love old Atlanta too, but the package here was just sublime, and it finally got me some of that feeling of what I was sitting in the grandstands on the Budweiser party porch watching. So it was really cool. And obviously Vegas means a lot to me as well. So the next few weeks are going to be fun. I'm not going to be here till June. I don't even know if I'll be able to make it for the Cup race, frankly. I'm going to try. But I think just getting where I got to be and getting home safely is the top of my priority list. And if I make it in time for the race, that's the goal. So, yeah.
Well, before I let you go, and obviously let you get ready for your travels to go visit family here this week to end out the month of May, if there's anyone to shout and say thank you to, the floor is yours. A lot of fun watching the 80 truck dice through the field tonight. One of the most laps led across the field tonight, and victory lane for truck 80. Christina Ryan, take it away.
Yeah, it was a great race. Obviously, again, shout out to my mom and David. Thanks for watching, guys. Hi, Chloe. Give the dog a couple pets for me. I really appreciate you guys watching. I hope it was fun. It's cool. We got to win when you were popping in. So really appreciate that. And everybody else that comes out and supports me. I say it all the time, but it blows my mind that I have fans, people cheering for me in the chat. So thank you guys for that. And big thanks to Blake and all my teammates for supporting me and helping me out tonight. And obviously big thanks to you for putting it on. And above all else, obviously, thoughts with Kurt and Samantha and Brexton and everybody in the Busch family. And A big shout out to Rowdy for getting me that one done. I'm a pretty good play racer, but I needed a little extra help, and he definitely helped us out. So I tried to put a big old number 8 on the front stretch when I did my burnouts. I don't know if it worked out, but we're gonna miss the hell out of you, dude. So yeah, just thanks so much. Very thankful, very happy.
A phenomenal job for Christina Ryan. She wins in Atlanta, a very emotionally heavy weekend. Hopefully we'll see her again on Monday for the Cup Series race. If not, we'll see her in time for Tuesday for the Truck Series race in Las Vegas. Christina Ryan, congratulations and stay safe.
Thanks so much, you too.
That was Christina Ryan, your race winner here tonight. We're going to shout out some of our Patreon subscribers here for ABN. They're on your screen right now. Thank you all so much for being a part of ABN on Patreon. This month, a little bit more heavy than normal. Obviously, with the passing of Kyle Busch, as we mentioned at the top of the broadcast, all of our proceeds on Patreon this month going towards the Bundle of Joy Foundation that was founded by Samantha and Kyle Busch several years ago. It's the best way to honor his memory, I think, overall there. It's the best thing that I think we can do to honor his memory. So all the proceeds going this month from our Patreon to the Bundle of Joy Foundation. But a huge shout out to everyone that has subscribed to us on Patreon, whether you're in the Premier tier or the Plus tier. All that support means a lot, especially this month with the proceeds going forward at the end of the month. I don't share a lot of personal stories very often on here. It's just not something I do very often. I did have the privilege of meeting Kyle Busch. Once upon a time, he was running double duty. I'm very much a Kentucky kid at heart. That's where I was. My first NASCAR race was the Busch Series race 2006 in Kentucky, and he was there, and I had a chance to meet him. He was the first diecast I ever bought. Everything you've heard about him over the last few days has been 100% true. He was always authentic. He was always true to himself. He was rough around the edges, especially then. But for 8-year-old me, he was an ass kicker. And for him to be the first person I met in NASCAR at a time where I was just now getting into the sport, it's an impact that I didn't realize he'd have until this weekend when everything's gone. He meant the world to so many people. And his legacy will never be forgotten. He's going to hold records for eternity. And it's going to be very hard for someone to touch him. The lesson we've learned is love hard, work hard, and play harder. And be authentic. Be true to yourself no matter what. Don't sacrifice anything for success, and don't sacrifice integrity. He was an embodiment of authenticity, and that's hard to find in this world. As we mentioned before, we're donating our Patreon proceeds this month to the Bundle of Joy Foundation. The link's in the description down below if you're watching this on YouTube. Stay safe, everyone. We'll see you again on Thursday for the IndyCar Series at Gateway, but stay safe. Tell your family you love them. Stay healthy. We'll see you down the road. On behalf of everyone for HTL and ABN, I'm Carmen Sienna. So long, everybody.